Magandang araw, no? So we will be discussing data privacy, no, for this topic, no. So I have here a question, no. I want you to think of this at least for answer this, no, sa utak lang natin, no. Which is more valuable? Is it data or is it money, no? So think of it, no, and then just keep your answer at your mind, okay? So, um, sabi nga nila, no, from Deputy Privacy Commissioner, so data is more valuable than money. Okay? If someone takes your money, that's all they have. Okay? If you let someone take your data, they may be in, they may eventually take your money too. No? So, kung titignan natin, no, kapag ka nanakawan ka, kapag ka nadukutan ka, most probably ang magiging resulta nito is that nawalan ka lang ng pera. Now, however, when someone tries to get your data or to steal your personal information or any personal information, no, most probably, no, maaari ka ding manakawan. Why? Bank account is one of the personal information na pinoprotektahan natin, no? And kapag nagkaroon sila ng access dito, then most probably, no, hindi lang basta personal information ang nakuha sa'yo, no? So, bukod sa personal information, no, makapagnakaw din sila sa'yo sa pamamagitan ng data na meron sila. Okay? So, most probably, no, ngayon, no, this is very relevant, no? Data privacy is very relevant nowadays. Before, kasi we don't have any data privacy, no? Actually, most of the company are asking for the list of graduates and their contact of information before, no? Before, nung wala pang Data Privacy Act. And then, magsasend sila ng mga job offerings, no, na mag-apply dito, etc. Ganun. No? However, nung nagkaroon ng data privacy, no, nalimit yung mga ganung bagay. Kasi, lagi tayong sa forms, no, as graduating students, no, sa application for graduation form natin, no, kung titignan nyo, no, yung mga fini-fill outan ninyo, meron dong data privacy yung i-check nyo doon, no, yung description, kung gusto nyo bang, pag may nagtanong ba, basta yung mga ganon, kung hanggang saan pwedeng i-share, pwede ba namin itong i-share dito, ganyan-ganyan, etc. No? So, actually, ang information, personal information is very valuable. No? That is very valuable resources. Now, this is very important, no? This is very important actually sa mga businesses, no, yung personal information, and even sa school, no, since we have system, no, of personal information of each student is very important. Okay, so halimbawa, di ba nag-order tayo ng mga food online, no? So, most probably, kinukuha nila yung name natin, yung address natin, yung cell phone number natin, kasi kailangan nila yon in order for them na to deliver the food, no? So, same sa mga parcel, no? Kapag tayo ay nag-online shopping, no? So, most probably, itong mga company nito, no, ginagather nila yung data na yon at pinaprocess nila ito, kung ano man yung processes na meron sila. No? Ang kagandahan, no, dahil sa meron tayong mga legislator, no, na ipasa yung data privacy. Okay? So, para saan ba to? In order for our personal information to be protected, no, by the law. No, since madalas o halos araw-araw ay gumagamit tayo ng internet or any social networking sites, no, or web applications na kinakailangan natin to log in, to provide our personal information, no. Sa panahon ngayon, data privacy is more important. This is very important. Lalo na madaming sige lang, go lang. Lalo na madami, no? Na napakadami nating accounts. Different social networking sites, accounts, so different web application, no? And then we do not know whether our information is safe or not. Kasi usually tinatamad naman tayo talaga basahin yung agreements, di ba? So, it is very relevant today, no, na we have data privacy. Lalo na 'di ba sa pagka-online shopping halimbawa, no? Pag nag-online shopping tayo, 'di ba, meron doong naka-print na sticker sa parcel, no? And then most of us, no, dinidispose lang natin yung sticker sa parcel, no? So, yung sticker sa parcel na yon, minsan ginagamit yon bilang modus. Lalo na nandun yung information natin, no? Yung pangalan natin, yung address natin, yung number natin. Kaya 'di ba madaming nabibiktima na may na-deliver sa kanila na parcel na hindi naman nila in order, no? So, minsan yung iba since mala sila sa bahay, ang representative lang yung nandun, they tend to pay for that kahit na hindi naman nila dineliver. Diba? At yung laman ng isang bagay na yon is not worth than the money that they paid. No? So, may mga ganong modus. Kaya, our personal information is very important. It is very relevant. No? So, yun. No, that's why we have data privacy. No? So, what is Data Privacy Act of 2012? No, according to Section 1, which is the total short title, no, this is called as Data Privacy Act of 2012. No, so we have Republic Act number 10173, the Data Privacy Act of 2012. No, according to its definition, no, the act protecting individual personal information in information and communication systems in the government and in the private sector, creating for this purpose a National Privacy Commission and for other purposes. No? Another example, nabigyan ko lang kayo ng example. Sa BPO company, lalo na kapag humahawak sila ng mga bank account at may access sila kasi may system sila doon, di ba? No? Indeed, nagkakaroon ng mga glitch ng data. No? Minsan, may mga pasaway na caller or tawa ba, agent na kumukuha ng personal information ng client at ginagamit nila yun for their personal use. Now, good thing that we have Data Privacy Act, pero alam sa private companies, sobrang higpit nun. And pinagbabawal talaga yun. At mababan ka kapag ginawa mo yung mga ganong bagay. Okay? So, we have what we call the NPC o yung tinatawag nating National Privacy Commission. No? Pag sinabi nating National Privacy Commission, it is a body that is actually mandated to administer and to implement what we call the Data Privacy Act of 2012. No? Ang functions ng MPC ay ang mga sumusunod. Una, for rulemaking. Pangalawa, advisory. Pangatlo, public education. Pang-apat, compliance and monitoring. Panlima, investigations and complaints. And most especially, enforcement. So, ibig sabihin sila ang tagapagtupad ng mga sumusunod na functions nila. Ibig sabihin, sa kanila tayo pwedeng mag-demanda or magsampa ng complaint. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na data subjects. No, yung data subjects na yon, those are personal information that is collected, stored, and processed. No, ayun ay tinatawag natin na data subject. Again, pag sinabi nating data subject, this is your personal information. No, yun yung term nila doon, data subject. Yung personal information mo na kino-collect, na ini-store, na pina-process. That is what we call the data subjects. No? So, organizations who deal with your personal details, no, or whereabouts of your personal information, or what we call the data subjects, no, and yung preferences are duty bound, no, to observe and respect your data privacy rights. Okay? So again, organizations are duty bound to observe and respect your data privacy rights. Okay? So, dapat alam natin yon para kung may lalapastangan ng sa data subjects natin or sa personal information natin, we should know that pwede tayong mag-complain. No? Actually, may tinatawag tayong data privacy officer. Meron tayong data privacy officer sa Rizal Technological University o sa school natin. No? So, kung maaari na meron kayong concern, pwede kayong mag-direct or mag-complain sa kanila. No? Kung sa tingin nyo hindi pa ito na-actionan or hindi nila kayang actionan, then most probably diretso na tayo sa NPC. Okay? Para data privacy officer could help us with our complaints. Ayan. So, going back, no, kapag feeling natin na ang personal data natin has been misused or maliciously disclosed, no, there is malicious intent in disclosing your personal information, then most probably you could file a complaint. So, ibig sabihin, without your approval, any of your personal information should not be disclosed by anyone. Okay? So, if you think there is a malicious disclosure or improper disclosure or maling paggamit ng information ninyo, then most probably you have all the right, no? You have the right, no, to file a complaint, no? So that is our right, no? Mabuti nga at merong data privacy kasi may mga cases na ginagamit, no, o napapahamak tayo because they are releasing personal information without our approval, no? Kaya during your orientation, lalo na during nung pandemic at ang ginagamit natin ay video conferencing, no? Palaging ang instruction, you are not allowed to record, you are not allowed to distribute anything without the approval of everybody. Okay, or anyone involved in that. Okay, so you have to know your data privacy rights. Okay, so yung tinatawag nating data subject, no, it is very important. Excuse me. It is very important. Now, going back, it is very important for us to know, what are the rights, no, of data subject. Yung tinatawag natin data subject, yung tinatawag natin yung sa personal information natin, no, according to National Privacy Commission, no, to access is actually the right, no, to find out whether an organization holds any personal data about you, and if so, gain reasonable access to them. Okay, so you have the right to access, no, and you have the right to find out. Okay, you have the right to find out whether an organization holds any personal data about you, no. So going back, no, maaari tayong manghingi, no, usually, di ba, may mga written descriptions, no, na kung ano yung klaseng information yung meron sila, at kung para saan gagamitin ito, anong purpose, kung bakit may ganun silang record. No, so, meron tayong right naman manghingi ng mga ganung bagay. Okay? So, under the Privacy Act of 2012, no, we have the right to obtain, no, from an organization. Okay, we also have the right to correct, to rectify, no, we have the right to correct, to rectify, no, revise the data, and correct and ensure that your data is accurate and up to date. No, so you have all the right to do that. As long as that is your personal data, you have the right to revise, to correct, to ensure, and to make sure that all the data that they have is up to date or updated and or accurate. No, just make sure, no, just make sure that yung request natin is hindi or hindi siya unreasonable, no? You have the right to demand, no, yung data controller na mag-update ka, mag-modify ka ng data if you think that your data is inaccurate, erroneous, or misleading, or most probably incomplete, no? So let's say for example you have a certain data to that certain organization or office, and you think that that data is erroneous or inaccurate, then you have all the right not to correct your data, no, or your data subject, no, and then also you have the right to complain, no, you have the right to complain. Okay, you have the right to access, you have the right to be informed, and also you have you have the right to rectify, you have the right to file a complaint. No, you have a right to file a complaint once your rights, no, as data subjects are violated. No, if you think you are being yung data subject mo or your personal information mo is being violated, no, um or sa tingin mo improperly disposed siya or misused or maliciously disclosed, no? So ayun 'yon. So una, if you think you have the right to complain, una, if yung subject are violated or yung data subject na tinatawag natin o yung personal information is being violated or was violated. Okay? Halimbawa, improper disposal. Halimbawa, no, alam mo yung mga tinapa, 'di ba? Yung mga tinapa, yung mga jar yung ginagamit doon, no? Well, may as an example, no, may tao na bumili ng tinapa. Tapos, pagka-check niya, transcript of record niya yung pambalot ng tinapa. No, which is may mga grades at personal information yan, which is bawal. No, so nareklamo niya yung school na yun kasi bawal yun eh. No? So that is improper disposal of document. Kaya sa university, sa registrar, bawal ang disposal ng mga ganung bagay. No? Misuse, maling paggamit, no? Maliciously disclose. Ibig sabihin, in-expose niya tong data na to maliciously. Maaaring may plano siya sa'yo. Kaya in-expose niya tong data na to, which is your personal information. You have the right to complain. No? You have the right to complain as long as hindi ito criminal case. Okay? So, you may file your complaint with the NPC. Okay? So, the next one, no, is right to data portability. Pag sinabi natin data portability, ito yung pag-transfer ng file natin from one location to another or kung ano man yung location na yan. That could be online, etc. Ganyan. No? So, ito yung right mo that will actually allow you to remain in full control, no, of free flow of your information. No? So, depending on your preference, no, excuse me, depending on your preference, it actually allows you to transfer your data from one personal data controller to another. Okay? So, may mga limitations lang sa right. No? Una, this one is not applied sa research purposes or processing of data. Sa research, di ba, lagi naman tayong may letter of approval bago tayo mag-conduct ng mga ng mga surveys kung kinakailangan or ng mga interviews kung kinakailangan, no? Sa letter na 'yon nandoon yung mga questionnaires, no, at pinayagan halimbawa yun ng organization. Kung ano-ano lang yung mga kukuhanin nila at usually kapag magsa-survey tayo sa research, no, or interviews, usually merong data privacy disclosure, no, na fini-fill out at usually sa mga forms, no, lagi nang nakaakibat o lagi nang nakakabit ang data privacy disclosure. Okay? Lalong-lalo na sa survey. As long as, no, it's okay to use your personal information for research purposes as long as you have an approval, you allow them to use it, as long as nandun pa din yung confidentiality, no? Ayan. So, meron kasi tayong mga ginagamit na statistical tools, no, for research. Okay? So, if you will be reading this, no, the provisions of the law regarding transmissibility of rights and the right to data portability will not apply if the processed personal data are used only for the needs of scientific and statistical research. Okay? And based on such, no activities are carried out and no decisions are taken regarding the data subject. There should also be an assurance that the personal data will be held under the strict confidentiality and used only for the declared purposes. No? So most probably, no, they will not also apply to processing of personal data gathered for investigation in relation to any criminal cases. No? So again, in relation naman sa mga criminal cases, no, maaari nilang gamitin ang personal information mo, maaari nilang check ito, no? Again, ang Data Privacy Act ay hindi applied usually sa mga investigations in relation with criminal cases, no, administrative or tax liabilities, no. Any limitations on the right of the data subject should only be to the minimum extent necessary to achieve the purpose of the said research or investigation. So going back, ayan, so again, data privacy is not applied in regarding sa investigation, no, sa mga criminal cases. So, ayan, processing without the approval from the subject, or yung tinatawag nating unauthorized processing, no, under the Section 25 of Data Privacy Act of 2012, no, unauthorized processing of personal information and sensitive, no, personal information, ayan, meron siyang imprisonment of 1 to 2 years, fine of 500 to 2 million, excuse me, 2 million pesos, and or sensitive personal information, 3 to 6 years, and then 500 to I could not see because of the camera, to 4 million pesos. Okay? So, yung unauthorized processing of your personal information shall be penalized, no, by imprisonment ranging from 1 to 3 years and a fine not less than 500,000 pesos and 2 million pesos. No, it shall be imposed on person who process personal information without the consent of the data subject or without being authorized under this act or any existing law. Okay? Sa letter B naman, ang sinasabi doon yung unauthorized processing of personal sensitive information shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 3 years to 6 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 but not more than 4 million pesos. Now, it shall be imposed no, on persons who process personal information, no, without the consent of the data subject or without being authorized under this act or any existing law. Okay? Unauthorized access. Ayan. So we have here access due to negligence. Ayan, so yung Section 26 naman ng Data Privacy Act, dito sinasabi yung accessing personal information, no, ng due to negligence, no. So sabi dito sa letter A, no, yung accessing personal information, no, due to negligence shall be penalized, no, by imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 3 years, no, and a fine of not less than 500,000 but not more than 2 million pesos shall be imposed on persons who, due to negligence, provided access, no, since due to negligence of that certain person, no, they have provided access to personal information without being authorized under the act or any existing law. Okay? So letter B, accessing sensitive personal information naman due to negligence, no, shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging, no, from 3 years to 6 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 4 million pesos. No? So, para lang makita niyo siya. Ayan. No? Uh, but a fine but not more than 4 million pesos and shall be imposed, no, on persons who, due to negligence, provided access to personal information without being authorized under this act or any existing law. So we also have improper disposal of personal information, no, that made it accessible to the public. Katulad ng binigay kong example sa inyo kanina, no, yung transcript of record ng bata ay pinambalot ng tinapa, no. Pwedeng-pwede po yung sampahan ng kaso ang school, no. So bawal na bawal po 'yon. No, so under the section 27, yung improper disposal of personal information and sensitive personal information, no, yung letter A doon, sabi niya yung improper disposal ng personal information shall be penalized by imprisonment, no, ranging from 6 months to 2 years and a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos but not more than 500,000 pesos. No? And kanino ba ito i-impose? Ito ay may impose sa person who knowingly or negligently or negligence niya, dinispose niya, diniscard niya, or inabandon niya yung personal information ng isang individual in an area accessible to the public or has otherwise placed the personal information of an individual in its container for trash collection. No? Nako, meron kaming may scenario na ganon. No? Kaya you have to be very careful, lalo na yung mga mahawak ng payslip at kung saan-saan lang ito nilalagay. No? O kaya yung mga ITR ng mga empleyado, hindi siya basta-basta dinedispose. No? At may access ang mga janitorial natin. So, hindi siya ganon. No? So, if that will be raised, then most probably, maaari tayong makasuhan. No? So, ibig sabihin, if you are liable, kung ang trabaho mo ay nag-handle ng mga dokumento na merong personal information, you have to be careful. No? You have to be careful lalo na sa sa pagdidispose, no, o sa pagbibigay o sa pag-iiwan ng mga personal information ng mga tao natin. Okay? So letter B, the improper disposal of yung sensitive personal information shall be penalized. Ito siya. Wait lang. Let me off the camera. No, the improper disposal of sensitive personal information shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 3 years and a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos but not more than 1 million pesos. This shall be imposed on the persons who knowingly or negligently dispose, discard, or abandon the personal information of an individual in an area accessible to the public or has otherwise placed the personal information of an individual in its container for trash collection. Okay? So we also have unauthorized purpose. Okay? Sa unauthorized purpose, ito naman yung section 28. Okay? Processing of personal information and sensitive personal information for unauthorized purposes. No? Yung processing ng mga personal information natin or data subject natin for unauthorized purposes shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 6 months. No, to 5 years and a fine not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 1 million pesos shall be imposed no, on the persons processing personal information per purposes not authorized by the data subject or otherwise authorized under this act or under the existing law. No? The same thing with for sensitive personal information. No? Sa sensitive personal information, meron siyang imprisonment of 3 to 6 years and a fine of 100 pesos to 1 million pesos. Again, ito ay mai-impose sa tao. No? Pero according sa website, it's 7 years. No? 2 are ranging from 2 years to 7 years. No? And a fine of not less than 500 pesos and a fine of not more than 2 million pesos. And it shall be imposed on the person processing no sensitive information for the purpose of for the purposes not authorized by the data subject or otherwise authorized under this act or existing law. We also have intentional breach, no? Um, Pag sinabi natin unauthorized access or intentional breach, yung penalty ng imprisonment niya is ranging from 1 year to 3 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos, no, but not more than 2 million pesos. It shall be imposed on the persons who knowingly and unlawfully or violating data, confidentiality, and security data system breaks in any way into the system where personal and sensitive personal information is stored. No? So, yung mga hacker. No? So, yun. Maaari silang makulong. Okay? We also have concealment of security breaches. Okay? This involves yung mga personal information natin. No, meron siyang penalty of imprisonment no na of 1 year and 6 months and to up to 5 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 1 million pesos. No, it shall be imposed on sa tao na who after having yung knowledge niya in security breach and of the obligation to notify the commission pursuant to section 20 no, intentionally or omission conceals the fact of such security breach. Yung sinasabi niyang section 20, ito yung security of personal information. No, yung personal information controller, no, they must implement yung reasonable and appropriate organizational, physical, and technical measures intended for protection of personal information. Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na network security. No, yung mga may mga personnel tayo for that. No, against any incident or unlawful destruction, alteration, disclosure, as well as against any unlawful processing. no? So, concealment of breach. So, ibig sabihin, kasama din, kung sa tingin nila ay nagkaroon ng um, pagpapabaya sa mga sa trabaho nila as taga-protekta ng mga personal information, no? Through web sa systems o kung anumang systems, no? Then most probably maaaring silang makasuhan. No? And also we have malicious disclosure, no? So pag sinabi natin malicious disclosure, any personal information controller or personal information processor or any of its officials, no, employees or agents who with malice or in bad faith discloses unwarranted or false information relative to any information or personal sensitive information obtained by him or her shall be subject to imprisonment. Ulitin ko lang ha. May tinatawag tayong malicious disclosure. No? Any personal information, no, or personal information processor or any of its officials, employees, or agents who with malice or in bad faith, no, discloses unwarranted or false information relative to any personal information or personal sensitive information obtained by him or her shall be subject, no, to imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 6 years, or I mean 1 year to 6 months up to 5 years, and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 1 million pesos. Now, if you think there is someone who maliciously disclosed your information without your approval, any personal information or data subject, you have the right to complain. No, you have the right to complain. Okay? Unauthorized disclosure. Sa Section 23, diniscuss dito yung letter A. Any personal controller or personal information processor or any of its official, employees, agents, who discloses to a third-party personal information not covered by immediately preceding section without the consent of data subject, no, shall be subject to imprisonment ranging from 1 to 3 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 but not more than 1 million pesos. Okay? Ang letter B naman nun, no, any personal information controller or personal information processor nor any of its official, employees, agencies who, no, discloses to a third party sensitive personal information not covered by the immediate proceeding section without the consent of data subject shall be subject to imprisonment ranging from 3 years to 5 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 2 million pesos. Okay? So we also have what we call the Combined Prohibited Act, no? Both penalties for personal information and sensitive personal information. Kung mapapansin nyo kanina, magkaiba kasi ang penalty ng personal information at ng sensitive personal information. No? So ito ay merong imprisonment ng 3 to 6 years and a fine of 1 million to 5 million pesos. Okay? So sabi nga nila, in a world where everyone shows and tells everything, no, in a world where everyone shows and tells everything, I value discretion and privacy. Okay? So sabi nga nila, no, in personal note, nor in personal if someone disrespected your privacy and boundaries, no, you should distance yourself to them. And if you think that someone now violated your personal information or maliciously disclosed your personal information or in anything that is under this law, you have the right to complain. No? Complain sa data officer. Pag hindi na kinaya, diretso na sa NPC. Okay? So, for your reference, this is our reference. and some of its parts are part of the online course of the DICT. Okay, so I hope you learned something for today regarding about Data Privacy Act, and I hope that you are aware that you are aware on how are you going to properly protect yourself and how are you going to handle information when you are in the field of industry. Okay.